Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever, wherever you are tuning in is the perfect time. And this is your message today. Let's cleanse the space and ask that the messages herein speak to the highest wisdom within each one of us. So today, this is the Daily Dharma, by the way. My name is Dina. Thank you so much for joining. Today, we're going to pull most of our cards in the layout on camera. And preceding this message, as I was shuffling through and getting the pre-messages from the guiding cards here, I was shuffling the mixed Kali Kuan Yin deck. All decks listed below. All of the readings are intended to be timeless, so check back with any that resonate by title or vibe or anything else. And so as I was going through shuffling those cards into each other, I split the deck, and the two that were revealed in this one moment seem to want to be the entry theme. And then I'll pull some cards, and at the end, if we're guided, we'll finish shuffling that deck and see if anything steps forward. So the two that were that stepped forward in that were Dance of the Butterfly Queen number 5 from the Kuan Yin deck, talking about, with the butterfly energy, the transformations that our life goes through and the change and the awareness of a new cycle coming into our awareness or beingness. So some type of transformation. And then the Kali deck that showed was Kundalini Shakti, which came out as a theme yesterday. And Kundalini, of course, if you need the refresher or are not aware, is known as what life force energy lies as our pure spiritual potential lying at the base of the spine, ready to be called forth and summoned upward through the body systems and energetic meridians and passageways, through all of the main, at least, chakra systems and upward to connect with the enlightenment process. So we'll just leave that there with Kundalini and Shakti being the feminine uprising circuitry. There's the upward Shakti, and the returning energy coming back down through the crown would be the Shiva energy. So we can talk about how those indicate the feminine and masculine. Shakti is the feminine uprising. And even the sacred symbols that designate the elementals. Sorry to be fussing with my hair. It's just in my eyes. I may have to put it back. So anyways, I did want to do just a quick little reading from the Kundalini Shakti depiction here. It says that hers is the arising consciousness that evokes instability within. Another theme that came out yesterday with the vibration card from the other deck, 333, is talking about us as new awareness or evolving, evolution, transformation, the butterfly process. As we break through the chrysalis into the new experience, the preceding ideas or socialized perspectives and context needs to be shaken up, shaken loose, and somewhat eradicated in order that we can bring forth new information from what is preceded. So it's like the release of the debris, so that as things are reduced to their base contents, that we can rebuild something more substantial, more relevant, more divine from the sum of the pieces. And so yes, the evoking the instability within, clearing the inner pathways, those meridians and so on, for higher consciousness to manifest. Inner disturbances and instabilities wrought by Kundalini Shakti is an obscuring grace. So the great mystery, and us not understanding the blessing sometimes within the process of release, grief, attachments that elude us, prayers that don't come through right away, unanswered prayers. Internal disorder is a necessary step toward divine reorganization. Recall the messages if you saw those as putting things back into right order. Reassure your heart that no matter what may appear to be at a spiritual level, all is well. Outworn energy is being processed and broken apart. From the ashes of your inner fire, you shall emerge anew. Let what needs to happen, happen. So it goes on to talk quite a bit about the subtle bodies and awakening of consciousness, but I'll leave that for you to research on your own. I wanted to just relay those messages, and I'll say 555 that typically I shuffle my decks, and as they are cleared, I put them face down in preparation for new energy. Instead of once they're face up, my consciousness starts to divine the moment. So that's the way I do it. But this one, this deck, the Return of Spirit. This deck was lying face up from yesterday, and it kept showing the birthing card. So this transformation, this Kundalini Shakti with this birthing energy is talking about a new consciousness coming forward, stepping forward for us, shaking loose. And perhaps there's been things going on in our lives from the very beginning of our own conscious awareness that is being recalled in this moment. Things that resonate, or deja vu moments, so to speak. This one wanted to be shown. Vibrational, right. That's the one that I was speaking of. That vibrational shift within our actual person, energetically, physically, creates a lot of change on all various levels of our lives. At the deepest levels of self, we can no longer unknow what we have been shown. And under the deck, I'm showing power, right order, assistance, return of spirit, and confidence here. I'll just give you a little peek at the underneath there. I'm going to set this aside, and let's go ahead and get into what I call the code cards. This is the Sacred Geometry Activations Oracle deck. Change staying on the table. Tantric Journey right there. Tantric Journey is about that divine Kundalini energy. And so I will mention for any, again, who do not know, that this depiction is talking about the sacred union of perhaps opposites or divine partners. The Shiva Shakti energy is one that talks about divine consort. And so whenever we speak about Kundalini and life force energy, it almost is indistinguishable from the divine sexual energy. So I'm not talking about the mood, if you will. I'm speaking of the quest for legacy within any species, to perpetuate, to produce a seed, and then have that seed continue. You know, nobody wants life to undo itself, type of thing. So these two on the bottom kept wanting to show Dakshina and Blossoms of the Sky Dancer. I don't know if I'm able to show that one. I'll stick my finger over they've drawn some things there. So the Sky Dancer and the Dakshini are interesting, talking perhaps about the type of energy that we're embodying, either interfering or assisting us to gather that energy forth. And I believe the Dakshini has something to do with like a protective calling forth of apparent dark energies to combat evil. I'll look that up if it comes back to the fore. Let's go ahead and see what these code cards have for us today. What types of energies? That was a little bit of a stack. I'm seeing Communication 14 under the deck. Vibration is the precursor of speech because thought becomes through the microphone, and whatever divinity or lower, whatever you want to see it as, we, through our cognitive and emotional and energetic broadcasting, send out these vibrational signals. That's how nonverbals can also be a form of communication and vibration and invocation. So under the deck, this little stack here, integration of the divine masculine here showing itself, and below that, root chakra and delight. Okay, this is glorious and beautiful. So the root chakra, again, the base of the Kundalini energy, the life force energy, and what we seed into existence as the legacy of perhaps our divine and human nature, the uprising and the calling forth from above, the divine alchemy that goes on, and how we integrate the Kundalini energies, how we cooperate with both the above, below, within, without, the projections and the emanation of our authenticity, and shake loose how we act, whether with trust, faith, and abundance, or whether we react from fear, lack, and competition frequency, is really what seems to be being called out. And the advice clearly is, how can we be an advocate for the light, delight? How can you be delight in your life? I'm hearing some kind of Jamaican accent all of a sudden. So we have the power to put our world and the world in the larger context back into right order by returning to our sacred spirituality. We're being assisted to act with confidence, power, and authority in our lives, to embody and align with this transformative energy from perhaps seemingly the lower aspects of the caterpillar into the more uplifting and, flight enabled butterfly in the moment, something that many see as graceful, enlightened. It's like so light, so fluttery. It makes virtually, what does it make any noise to our ears and our perceptions? And it also is one of the things that you can see them going from flower to flower, collecting pollen. I almost said correcting. So collecting pollen, creating that nectar, that transformation of taking things from one place to another, that cross-pollination of perhaps perspectives, enlightenment, conditioning versus worldliness, and the singularity versus the diversity that becomes our ability to overcome things like duality that, I want to say, plagues the shadow realms of the human nature. And it's something that is boundaryless, it is genderless, it is raceless. It is something that comes across even beyond the human dimension. People will say, oh, well, animals don't react in these ways on one side of the fence. And then other people will say, well, I have seen evidence that animals behave in this other, more, they call it instinctual ways. But you can find evidence for everything within most species as well. Just because somebody observes it, then all of a sudden it becomes a label for that species or that race or that gender. And this is the invitation of being the light and really re-educating the root that these things are energies. They are not specific to the material object. They are biases from our observation complexes. And I know that sounds like a stretch, but I'm only the microphone of what's coming through, and I am stepping aside in my life and my predisposed ideas about things in a lot of ways in order to be educated with this new vibrational frequency that wants to shake loose anything that I have as judgments within myself. And that's what's stepping through for all of us at this time. It's an invitation to return to spirit in this way. So I'm wanting to move into this Akashic tarot deck that I'm just fascinated by recently. Underneath, 2 of scrolls, 2 worlds. So much in these cards too. So I'll give you a peek at that. Look out the window as well, in the hearth, on the table, in the baskets. There's so much abundance, but this individual is in some type of deep reflective type of mannerism here. And there's a lot to do. She's spinning fibers into yarns that then will later become things such as blankets or sellable wares or whatever. So on some level, it's talking about our resourcefulness and our ability to produce something that is abundant from whatever resources or fibers, whether our being or education, that are stepping forward for us. It's 2 is the number of co-creation and partnership in scrolls of knowledge, wisdom, insights, intuition, things communicating through us and to us, and us being the microphone of those perspectives. So let's shuffle this and see what else. Let's get about 3 cards plus whatever's underneath. Let's do that. Let's see what type of, I see this almost as like some type of concurrent lifetime Akashic heritage, stepping through in many different ways, concurrent energies, and the ability to see things perhaps from a historical view that shows us back to ourself. And yeah, something like that. I'll take these 2. Ooh, some of these are quite delightful. So let's just take these 2 and see the bottom. Yes, that's incredible. So Major Arcana number 1 showing up on the bottom of the deck here, the Oracle of Delphi, speaking about some oracle here who believes to be the conduit of spirit and channeling messages from above in whatever symbol language, and then the scribe in the background being the one that then interprets and writes these things down. Does this individual then make mistakes? Perhaps he is more human, less or more, but are those mistakes also some type of divinity? So the number 1 card is the experience and how we perceive of perhaps like the ascended masters or the embodiments of our spiritual guides, guardians, and then what we choose to do with our embodiment here. Maybe this is the higher self, the lower so-called embodiment of the mundane self, and then the higher self being the conduit of symbol language to us and how we interpret that. So, or it could stand for someone such as myself or some other individual being some type of advocate for spirit. Seeing the journey underneath and views of the ego. Yeah, right. The fool's journey and being able to see beyond the ego and see how the ego serves and doesn't serve. So the 2 that popped off, we have number 9, Archangel Michael, protecting and guiding the children. Look at those huge wings. And I'm seeing that Kali, the Yuga energy of the birthing portal in his wings here, if you will, his, hers, it, whatever. And then here we have Adsum, however you say that. This child is in the act of reading a book, and then there's whether these are guides, guardians, spirit team, or elementals. There's energies stepping forward and perhaps distracting, perhaps supplementing her teaching with like the voice of the angel and devil, so to speak, or the ancestors, or the voice of the collective, the voice of our various team colors that speak through us. Like Do I have this belief system? And then if I do, to what extent am I coloring my discernment through the values and beliefs that are most endearing to that group? And to what extent am I cleansing and clearing those through the heart of the divine spark of the inner child? Here we have that purified little children energy. Perhaps a boy and girl are being depicted, but there's also this beautiful glowing heart in the heart of the forest, in the heart of the angels here. This birthing portal, it's like 2020 I just saw on the timer. It's like being educated beyond the words. We are learning the essence of something, and that energy is the vibrational broadcast that's shaking loose something that that is quite delightful here, that we're calling forth this energy of beauty and light and the ability to act with greater kindness, compassion, and to be something quite incredible. That Adsum card there, that 22, is the same number as this. There, I put my finger right over it. The divine masculine card that we're talking about. Supporting our strong, focused, and active side, allowing it to express itself while helping us to bring our dreams and ideas into form with kindness and wisdom. So yeah, co-creating with wisdom, that 2 card. And Archangel Michael is perhaps of the blue flame, which colors this divine masculine card. You may identify with many of the various teachings that incorporate the angels, and also with this dance of the butterfly queen. We can also think about how many individuals will perceive the earth angel potential. And I've seen this as on the back, near around the back of the shoulders in some area, that there's this, as we connect both with earth and cosmic forces within the self and have that tantric communication moment, then I will sometimes perceive these individuals really energetically developing their own energetic wings, like getting their wings. And I'm just hearing in my mind every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. And I did ring my bell all around my chakra systems to create that vibrational release energy. I'll just give you a little ring. If you're sensitive, you may want to turn down your mic. To me, that feels good. So there we go. And so this is like talking about the way that we channel things through our higher sensitivities. And so that part we've established. I'd like to then get... Okay, I'm being told that Dakshini card does want to have something imparted. Fear. Okay, that's the thing that we did talk about, that fear frequency versus the light and love frequency. Fear can undermine your confidence, erode your trust, and steal away the joy that you take in living. The benign yet mighty Dakshina Kali manifests to conquer fear and realign your mind and path towards peace and light. Make a sincere offering from your heart to her now, and you will receive her generous blessings and assistance. Open your heart with trust, for that which is blessed and beautiful wants to manifest in your life. All right. So I'll just take a couple of light and easy oracles. Let's start with the Whispers of the Ocean. And then we'll get an animal totem here. One more. This one's good. Every step counts. Number 10, which reduces to a 1, which is new beginnings and self. There's an advantage to taking things slowly. Breathe deeply and fully as you consider your options. And I see that as almost a fire rising up. And under the deck here, we have adrift in shallow water. So maybe you're amongst a collective or perceiving some type of group or your life in general as not having some type of depth that you crave, or not being able to really speak those things into the groups or conversations that you're having currently. So maybe there's another platform or writing that you could engage in to really help those energies step forward in your aura and be activated for yourself. 15, adrift in shallow water. Or maybe just recognizing the deeper processes at work in your life instead of being distracted by things, really taking time to clear yourself and your space in order to listen to the whispers of, so to speak, God and the divine, rather than the shouts of the ego and of those that tell us that we need to get upset about something or we need to take sides in a matter. Attachment and ego, 15, right? And the need to come back into the lovers with the reduction into 1 + 5 = 6. Take a few deep breaths and reconnect to your inner peace. Notice the small things and appreciate them. Yes, such as the beauty and guidance from the divine that's whispering into our lives, that we have the option to embody at every moment and every turn in our lives. I don't remember her name. There was a young lady several years ago that spoke out, and she even spoke at the UN. There's some kind of martyr energy, hero energy, the youth speaking forward and really taking back the distraction energy and seeding the pot with the truer messages that need to speak through. There are many that have the urge to speak their truth, but do you have the courage and the commitment to do so without the evidence of acceptance at the beginning? You have to push through that level. Frog, prosperity. Let go of the past and embrace change. Opportunities are close at hand. Hop into this new day with joy. Abundance and good fortune await you. Incredible. And under the deck here, Tiger. I wondered if Tiger would step forward. If you identify with feline energy, you may want to check out the Sekhmet and Bastet video that was just posted yesterday. Tiger, fire. I choose to be unstoppable. My passion is my power. I am bold. I am brave. Mighty forces come to my aid. It's gorgeous. And just below that, we see elk nobility. Celebrating with humility, your ability to conquer challenges is limitless. And Wolf Pathfinder, release your past, and start a new journey. You are a teacher and help others find their way. There will be challenges, but your soul is strong. Perseverance is your secret power. You have a love that endures. And let's just show those. Some cat and dog energy, some pets, some domestication. Maybe this has to do with your ability to create that sacred space and that ability to speak from the heart in the home or in your sacred temple. Utilizing pets as a, this might sound strange to some of you, but as co-creators in our world, how often can we express unrestrained love with our pets as our loved ones, because they seem to just eat it up. I mean, I do have a cat that would eat my face off if I touched her wrong in the wrong spot. But I'm saying, as a general rule, when they have asserted their boundaries and I respect her boundaries, she also wants and really needs to be cuddled, no matter how ferocious she may be. She craves love as well, but she's got something that I don't know what it is. I mean, we haven't had her since birth, so I don't know about the context of her personality quirks, but she can be quite ferocious, which came out in one of these. Anyways, yeah, healing can really happen with the pets as well. So anyways, I think that we will close out today with Art of War, because there's something about shifting and moving with something, change, and sometimes navigating that can be challenging for us. It can feel like a little bit of war, at war within the self, the cognitive dissonance of being separate, individualized, being authority. That's the one. Sun Tzu said, captured soldiers should be kindly treated and kept. Maybe this has to do with the hearts that are in our care, the children, the pets, and so on. Captured soldiers should be kindly treated and kept. With pets seems really, to me. Offer an olive branch. Before you go to war over a trivial thing, consider the cost of doing so. Sun Tzu makes it very clear that war, even if successful, is costly. If you keep your temper, it is most likely that they will keep theirs. However, if a fight breaks out, keep your temper anyways. Fighting does not end fighting. Fighting is ended by making up. Give them an opportunity to stop the fight. And I heard this morning, eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. So the others, Sun Tzu says, the quality of decision is like the well-timed swoop of a falcon, which enables it to strike and destroy its victim. And on the other side of the deck here, use the knowledge of others. Don't always think that you have to go it alone. You don't have all the answers or the information all the time. If you know someone with skills and knowledge that you don't have, ask them for advice or to help. They will almost always be happy to share what they know with you. And, share your knowledge with others, because we've got a lot of vibrational information coming through your energy field, and you are being asked to speak about the energy behind actions, inactions, behaviors, not with judgment, but with the educating upliftment of what our options are for our path. So I think that's a good place to stop. Take care of yourselves. Check back for other content. And until next time, take care of yourselves.